Okay, so again the recording. Okay, please welcome back. So we have discussed this part, and here, yeah. One thing, yeah. So see here, things are good, right, so far because we have seen that the output voltage means the transition is quite smooth for this case. The VDD, I means VOH dash is equal to VDD. That is also good, but the bad part is that the transistor is not getting off. Right, that is one part. This transistor is not getting off. This is always on, like particularly in this region, and as a result we are not getting the output voltage, minimum output voltage equal to 0, but we are getting somewhat higher than that. So how can you do that? So definitely one thing is that, see, the control or the input voltage we have applied here, so it is no way impacting this one. No, I should not say no way impacting this one, means this is not controlling and the switching on and off this transistor also, right? But if we have some mechanism by which the input voltage can control the driver, at the same time the pull up network is also being controlled by the input voltage, then probably we do not we may not face the issue the where we are seeing that this this line is constant hereafter, right? Means we are not able to pull this part down, and we are also not able to make the VOL dash equal to 0, right? So in the next type of inverter, we will try to see how we can give this V input to both these transistors. Not, I am not saying this we should use the depletion mode transistor, but I am saying we should have some different transistors where we will try to see that we should give this V input, provide V input to both these transistors. Okay, so that we can control both through this input. Okay, so here the concept of this CMOS or complementary MOS inverter comes. Okay, so this is CMOS inverter. So in CMOS inverter, if you see, but we will not really start right now with this, what you are familiar with. You are familiar with this CMOS inverter, right? VDD, and this is V input, right? You are familiar with this, but we will not start straightforward with this. But before that, we should have some introduction, like where from this design has come, why this PMOS is in that should be in the top, why not PMOS should be in the bottom, or the vice versa. Why not this NMOS in the top, or why not in both places NMOS? Why not in both places PMOS? So this thing we should try to understand first. Then we'll see, why, you will see the beauty. You will understand the beauty of this structure, right? So we'll keep this idea, bit beside, not take our as an discussion, at least in this page, right? We'll come back to this structure just after some time. Huh? So what we understood is that there should be some pull-up network, right? There should be some pull-up network, or sometimes it's also called as this PUN, pull-up network. There should be some pull-down network, and in short, it is also known as PDN, right? And there should be some connection between pull in, pull up, and pull down. Pull up is connected with, should be with the VDD. Pull down is connected with the ground, and the output should be taken in from the middle of this, right? So this is the V out, right? And here we have the load, and we already discussed in digital load means basically it is a capacitive load, CL, right? Because no IG, no static current is flowing through this, because the gate current of a MOSFET is 0, right? So no static current is flowing through this, but only the dynamic means only the dynamic current can flow through this for charging and discharging, right? Okay, and we have an input, and that input, as we understood now, just our 2-3 minutes back discussion, this input should control both this pull up network and this pull down network simultaneously, isn't it? It should control both pull up network and pull down network. Okay, great. So, and in this case, means for this inverter, we want that for every set of input, okay, every set of input of logic values, either the pull up or the pull down network makes connection to VDD or ground. So again, I repeat, for every set of input logic values, means we have to say consider the valid input logic, for example, logic 0 or logic 1. If we apply logic 0, then either the pull up network should be connected with VDD or the pull down network should be connected with the ground. Okay, or simultaneously you can also say, if we apply input as the other input, then either this pull up should be connected with VDD or the pull down should be connected with ground, but not both of them should be connected simultaneously. Okay, for V input equal to any either logic 0 or logic 1. Fine. Because in the last page only we have last here only we have seen for this case when you have this applied logic 1 here, right? You see this is 1, this is on, so that means the pull down network is connected with ground, but at the same time this is also on, so that means the pull up network is also connected with the VDD. So in that case, there will be a direct path between VDD and ground, and there will be static power dissipation, right? So we understood why only the pull-up network should be connected with VDD or the pull-down network should be connected with ground. Okay. Now, suppose in some case we have applied some voltage here for which the pull-up network is working and pull-down network is been disconnected. So in that case, probably we can draw or simplify this represented it like this. So when this pull-up network is active, we can say we can replace that pull-up network maybe with its equivalent resistance. So it is R pull-up, right? So at that time, the pull-down network is open. So pull-down network is open. So this is the input, right? This input is controlling both this pull-up network and this pull-down network. This is PDN. PDN is open, right? And this is VDD. This is that capacitor connected with this. This is the C load, right? And this is V out. And what will happen here to this V out? So here current will flow. If this capacitor was initially discharged, then the current will flow and try to charge this capacitor. So as a result, what you will see that if the output is initially at lower level, then that there will be a transition from lower level to the higher level, means higher logic level, right? Okay. And obviously you can see that it is not instantaneous, like as long means as soon as if you consider like this axis as time, then there is some delay between when you have applied and when you have reached this higher level, right? So that delay we will maybe look into up not today or maybe after some time. Okay, how to characterize this delay and what are the things that we should consider to minimize the delay. Okay, but now our concern is only these levels. So here lower level to this higher level. Similarly, if you consider the other scenario where this only the pull down network is active, then we can say then this R pull down network is been only there, and this has been open circuited. The pull up network is open. This is VDD, right? This is that input V input, and this is that output CL, right? This is V output. So in as this pull down network is now connected with the ground, so it can discharge if they suppose this is initially charged, then it can discharge to this pull down network, and there will be an transition of this output. If this is initially charged, that means in a higher state. So from higher state till lower state, right? And you can see here also there will be some delay, right? Those delay again we will take. We will discuss about this delay later on, right? But you understood, like either pull up should be connected or pull down should be connected for valid logic inputs, right? Okay, and we have also discussed if both are connected, then there will be direct path between this input, like two power rails, right? Okay, now it might also possible that for some input neither pull up nor pull down network are connected, means both are open, right? So at that time the output is neither connected with VDD nor with the ground, right? So in that case, that is you can say the output is type of floating situation, right? And that is also sometimes used for making tri-state logic, but like there are three states of logic, but we are considering only two level, 0 and 1. So we are not focusing on that tri-state part, right? So for our discussion, it will be either connected with this part VDD C output, or it will be connected with the ground. Right. Now, here comes other thing. Like now this pull up network and this pull down network, right? Then what should we use as a pull up network? Which transistor should we use? And which transistor should we use for this pull down network? Right. Because we have seen that if we have to give a control to both this input, then this pull up cannot be resistor. This pull up cannot be enhancement load. This pull up cannot be depletion load, right? So we left out with the option of either PMOS or NMOS for the time being, right? So we'll see which one to be used as a pull up and which one to be used as a pull down network here. So the choice of pull up and pull down network. Right. Say, we are considering first the pull up network. So pull up network, suppose we are using, and we thought of using one NMOS. Okay. Okay. So pull up network. So that means this network is at the top. So it should be connected with VDD, right? Other part is connected with the output. Fine. Okay. So this is connected with VDD. This part is connected with the V out, right? And V out is charging this capacitor, right? And here is this V in, right? Now to charge this capacitor, this transistor has to be on, right? By the way, this is drain, this is source, this is gate. So this transistor has to be on. So how to make this transistor on? When this V input will be equal to maximum, right? Logic 1, right? It is, we are considering VDD. So when this is V input is equal to VDD, hello. So what do we expect? Yeah, Devjoy, can you please mute your microphone?
Yes, sir.
Right. So in this case, what is happening? So the transistor has to be charged, right? This transistor has to be charged like this. I mean, this capacitor has to be charged, CL has to be charged through this, right? Now, tell me, what about, can you comment on the maximum voltage that can reach across this CL? Can it reach completely to VDD? The answer is, please think carefully, the answer is no, because see, it is charging, so the potential across the CL is increasing, right? So it will keep on increase, fine. But when the potential is, suppose it has reached up to VDD minus VTH, okay, till then. Now, once it has to, if you have to reach it, increase it little bit more, see, then to make this transistor on, at least the VTH drop has to be there, right? Then only the transistor will turn on, right? So if you now try to increase it further, like beyond this, then this condition is not satisfied, so the transistor turns off. So that means here you will get an response like earlier, like this. It will reach from low to high, but the maximum voltage will be limited to V, this one. It cannot reach to completely VDD. You understood? Okay. Now what will happen? So this is for, we are considering NMOS. NMOS as pull-up network. Now what will happen if we use PMOS as a pull-up network? So now we are using a PMOS as a pull-up network, right? So this is PMOS as a pull-up network. So here again you have an capacitor CL, and this is V out, right? And this is VDD, and this transistor, this is what? This is source, this is drain, this is gate, right? And this transistor has to be on. So this transistor has to be on. That means VS is already connected with VDD, right? So here at this gate terminal, the potential has to be negative, right? Means VG has to be negative with respect to whom? With respect to source. So here source is already connected with VDD. So that means the minimum voltage you have to apply. Minimum voltage is here. Either VDD, minimum volt means what is the level of voltages, 0 or VDD. The minimum is 0. So when V input is equal to 0. So when V input is equal to 0, that means then this V of SG is greater than the threshold voltage of this transistor, and the transistor will start conducting the current, and it will also start charging this capacitor. So as the transistor starts charging this capacitor, the potential across this will increase, right? But it can increase to up to what level? Suppose can it reach to completely VDD? The answer is yes, because now here this is VSG, right? And this VSG is what? If you make it like 0, it is VDD, right? It is VDD. So there is no restriction which limits that the V output cannot reach to VDD, right? So V output maximum can reach to VDD. So here the transition low to high, and here the maximum can easily reach to VDD, right? So you understood? Like if we have to use NMOS as a pull-up network, then the scenario would be like it will still able to charge this capacitor, but the maximum voltage will be one threshold voltage below that of this supply voltage. Whereas for PMOS, this issue will not be there, right? Right. Now
So,
suppose, huh?
so in the NMOS case, if we are giving V in as VDD and V out is VDD minus VTH, then there is no inversion, right?
In this case,
Yeah,
if
like here, the input is VDD
input is
and
VDD,
output is VDD minus VTH, then there is no inverting, right?
there is no inversion.
Yeah, like
No, why are you saying there is no inversion? Because
yeah, like
still
if
the
you
gap
are
is threshold voltage, right? Still the difference between VGS and VS is the threshold voltage. So as long as the difference between gate and source is threshold voltage, the transistor will be on.
So, but it is on when the input is high. Like, so when V
yeah,
in is 1, then V out is 1 as well.
Could you please repeat, Siddharth?
So when V in is logic 1 or
Mhm.
high, then V out is also logic 1. So it is not an inverter anymore.
Okay, I agree with your point. It is not an inverter. That is, I agree with you. But the thing is that we are now trying to implement, not thinking only about the inverter, but suppose if you want to make it, use it for any other digital gate, right? So in that scenario, it might happen, right? You might think of using this NMOS as an pull-up network,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
right. So similarly, but you are right. For this case, it cannot be used as an inverter because if it is logic 1, output is also logic 1. So what type of means behavior it will show? What type of behavior it is showing? Input logic 1, output logic 1.
Like a buffer.
Right, right. But it will not be a good buffer, right? Because it is output voltage will be one threshold lower than that. Okay. Now let us consider this pull down network case. So for pull down network, let us say we want to use this PMOS as a pull down network, right? Then let us see the position of this pull down network. The pull down network is here, right? So it is top connected with V out, bottom part is connected with the ground. Okay, so this is connected with V out, and V out is been actually connected with the load capacitor, and this is ground. No, right? And we have to apply some voltage so that this capacitor, which is initially charged, that is able to discharge through it. So if that has to happen, then the capacitor has to discharge like this, right? And we need to apply some V in here. So what should be the V in again to make this transistor on, right? Suppose we apply some lower voltage here, 0. Okay. Then what will happen? If we apply some 0 voltage, uh, can this, okay, so what is this terminal now? This is source, this is drain, this is gate. Okay, so this capacitor start discharging from VDD. Okay, it has start discharging, but can it go till, I mean, can it completely discharge, or can the V out reach to 0? See, the V out cannot really reach to 0 because again there should be at least one threshold voltage drop between these two. So once VD means V out has reached to this threshold voltage, then after beyond that this transistor will turn off. It cannot conduct any further, right? So the characteristics means the switching would look like something like this. It is higher to lower, and the lower value would be this VDD minus, sorry, not VDD minus, but it will be the threshold voltage of this transistor, or VTHP, if we say like the threshold voltage is VTHP, right? so, sorry. Now if you think about this part here, like using NMOS as a pull down network, then it is CL, it is V out, is ground. So here V in has to be equal to VDD, right? And in that case, yes, it can discharge, right? And we can see the terminals are like this gate, right? This is drain, this is source. So VGS is always VDD. So there is no restriction for this V out to discharge completely, or CL to discharge completely, and V out can easily reach to V 0 volt, right? So in that case, so this output voltage can go, and this voltage can really reach to 0 volt. Right. So you see that these two combinations are not very good combinations, right, for using to be as an pull-up network or pull-down network. But if you just think about it, if you are using this and this, then one of your friend has said like it will not be an inverter. That is true, but it will be the opposite of that inverter, right? But even that buffer is not a very good buffer, right? Because you will not get the full swing, because the swing will be from this VTHP till VDD minus VTH, right, in a higher side, right? So I think you from this discussion it is clear to you, like for this pull down. So for this pull down we should choose this NMOS, right? And for pull up network we should use this PMOS, right? And that is why right? For CMOS, we have seen this structure, right? This structure. You can see here the pull-up network is this P and the pull-down network is N. Fine. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to plot the voltage transfer characteristics from for this CMOS inverter. I think most of you know that how does it final thing will look like, but we are not directly jumping to the final VTC, but we would try to understand it a little bit more and try to understand it from this point, right? Like for example, how to first we will try to understand graphically, okay, that like why you are getting the VTC as the by using the process, but the using the procedure that we have used for our earlier inverters, right? So you follow the same process and try to go from here till the VTC. Okay. So CMOS inverter. Okay. This is gate. This is source, right? This is drain. Fine. Okay. Right. So I think this part this part we have discussed couple of times. So I think not much focus is required on this because now I hope that all of you have understood like how to use this, right? Because here this is the same thing. VDS is again equal to V out, like our earlier cases, right? But let us focus more on now PMOS first, and then we'll try to see how this PMOS characteristics we can superimpose graphically with this NMOS and get the VTC. Okay, so if you are focusing on this PMOS, right, then how does the IV characteristics, or maybe we can write a couple of things here, right? For example, if you consider only this PMOS here, or first let us write, let us take separate examples here, right? Suppose this is the case situation, and here this is V in. Okay, this is NMOS, this is IDS, so we are writing it as IDSN, right, for NMOS to represent, and similarly we can do for PMOS as well. So here it is, if we write it as this VDD, and if we suppose it is ground, so here this current, so this is basically drain, this is source, this is gate, so this is gate, this is source, this is drain. So it is basically DSP, right? So it is SDP, right? It is flowing from the source to drain, right? But see the this is when we are drawing it individually, but actually the same current has to flow through both the transistors. So that way you can see like here that IDS, if we just reverse it, right, means if you consider like I DSP is equal to minus of I DSP, right, then we can probably equate, right, both are like IDS from flowing from drain to source, right? We are trying to use this first and see that how to plot that how to plot this output characteristics like this, superimpose the output characteristics of NMOS and PMOS, right? So and here you can also see like like this VDS, right? Okay. For example, how to explain? Maybe I should first draw it a little bit here, then only it will be better. See, this is ID, this is VDS, right? I'm drawing for this NMOS. Huh? Then for NMOS, it will look NMOS, it will look like this. Again, it looks like there is some short channel effect, but please ignore that. Okay, that is not because of my drawing, right? So this for NMOS, it is like this. This is VDS, this is ID, right? Okay. Then in that case, if we want to plot this current for this on the same IDS side, right? Then we have seen that here the IDS is negative. So obviously this ID is negative. That is fine. And here, if you see want to draw on the same plot the output characteristics of this PMOS, then this output characteristics of PMOS, right? This is for NMOS, all this, right? If you have to draw for this PMOS, then right here the characteristics would be like this. Oh. Right, this is for PMOS. Why this current, if you want to plot here negative, because here this IDS is this, but here it is basically I of SD, right? Okay, and why we are plotting it here, because it is VDS and it is and basically for PMOS it is V of SD, right? So that way it is should be on this. If it is plotting on this first quadrant, it has to be plotted on the third quadrant, right? Okay, now step by step, first thing is that we are trying to superimpose this on top of this. So first thing is that we have seen the if we make this negative, make this current means make a negative sign, then also we can write I of DSP. So if we flip it, means if we make a mirror of this, right, then this current will become positive. I think you agree with me, right? Okay, but here is small one more thing as well that we need to understand. For example, suppose the threshold voltage of this NMOS is 0.4 volt, suppose, or 0.5 volt, say 0.5 volt threshold voltage. Then obviously this is higher than 0.5. So maybe say this is VGS is equal to 1 volt, and this is VGS is nothing but for this NMOS is equal. For this NMOS, it is nothing but equal to V in. So this is V in equal to 1 volt. Here, this is V in equal to suppose 1.5 volt. This is V in equal to suppose 2 volt. Right? Like this. Fine. Okay. But here V in is equal to VGS. Right. But here, what is this voltage? Can you tell me? Means what? Well, what should I write for this NMOS, for this PMOS?
It is VT minus no.
No, see, you have plotted it like this, right? And okay, by the way, what is the threshold voltage for PMOS? Is it positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative, right? So this PMOS, suppose the threshold voltage is minus 0.5. For NMOS, it is plus 0.5. So you have plotted like this. For PMOS, it is minus 0.5. So this is minus 1 volt. This minus 1 volt is what? Minus 1 volt is VGS, isn't it? Please understand this. If you do not understand, we will discuss it again. Is this VGS? VGS equal to minus 1?
Yes.
Okay. So the next one would be VGS equal to minus 1.5 volt. Okay, it is now difficult to draw here. Now this is VGS equal to minus 2 volt. This is for this, right? Okay. Now what we are doing, we have said like as this is IDS, so we are just trying to flip it to this to this axis. We are taking it to the second quadrant. So the current will become negative. Now, so the current will also become this IDS, not ISD. So okay, we will flip it. But to flip it, we need to do a couple of things here. Okay, so see here, this is IDS. So we are, you know, already this is NMOS. So I'm just, so that I can draw this flip part here, right? This is some space shortage issue will come here. Okay, so if I flip it, so then it will become, okay, then this will become like this, right? Then the other one will become like this, top one. This one will become like this. The other one will become like this, right? Once I flip it. So when I flipped it from here to here, then I can probably also change the values of this VGS, right? Because see, everything, if it is, we have to superimpose this side and this side, then here the variables are V in, right? All variables are V in. So here, these plots also we will try to write or indicate in terms of V in. Okay. So here the value of VGS is equal to -1 for this. So what will be the value? So this plot is same as this plot, right? We just flip it. So I want to now write this plot in terms of V in. So what will be the value of V in for this plot? Please tell me.
Vs minus 1.
Right. See, here it is V in, right? So, or maybe I will do it like this. See here, V of this value, right? We have written here in terms of V of GS. So for this PMOS, V of GS is V in minus VDD, right? So we are writing in terms of now V in. So V in is nothing but VGS plus VDD, right? Okay. Suppose the VDD for this case is 2.5 volt. Suppose VDD is 2.5 volt. Then tell me what will be V in here? $1.5 volt, right?
Yes, sir.
Right, 1.5 volt. What will be for the next one? 1 volt, right? What will be for the next one? What will be for this? 0.5 volt, isn't it? Okay. So one thing I think you have noticed here, that for PMOS, this V in 0.5 is this one. The current level is this. Whereas for NMOS, see V in equal to 0.5, maybe the V, I think that will not happen, because we should have considered V in bit higher, because threshold voltage is 0.5, right? So if this threshold voltage is this is 0.5, then this side for 0.5 there will be no current. But I think you got the basic idea. Idea is that, see here, if you are increasing the V in, the current are actually falling down, right? But for here, if you are increasing the V in, current are actually rising, right? Have you got the basic idea? Like that V in, with increasing V in, the current for the PMOS is falling, whereas the current is increasing for this NMOS.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then still this PMOS is on this side and NMOS is on this side. And in the last example only, when we have used this depletion mode, we have seen how to transfer this plot to this side, right? You have to just simply add VDD with this. Because again also here you can see this VDS is nothing but VDS is equal to V output. But here this drop is equal to VDD minus V output. Or if you want to represent this in terms of if you want to represent VDS in terms of V out, you have to add VDD with this, right? VDD with V of DS, not SD, V of DS. Now it is V of DS. Okay. So that means you need to transfer this all this curve or shift all this point to this VDD here. Shift this characteristics everything by VDD. Right. So if you do shift that VDD, then what will happen? All these plots. Okay, I'm drawing it here. One, I'll not do for others because that will make the thing very clumsy. Right. So like this, or maybe just for this already been clumsy. So maybe in the next page we will try to plot one fresh one. Right. So you have to shift everything by VDD. Right. Then you can see in one plot we have the output characteristics of both NMOS as well as the PMOS. Let us quickly do in the next page this thing, the final one, this part. I am not doing how you are getting it because I hope that you have understood how you are getting it from this till so far this one, right? Okay, so here this drawing would have to be drawn a bit carefully. So I am now using scale so that otherwise it will be difficult for me to make these lines. The scale also, it's so bad. Ooh. Okay, so now we will plot for this NMOS first. So for plotting NMOS, I'm just making this VDS set line. So this is that VDS set line. Maybe I should have increased it a little bit more to this little bit more to this side. That will be helpful for us. So this is what point? This is VDD. This point is that 0 voltage, right? And this axis is the output voltage axis, right? And this is your ID axis. Okay. And similarly, so if we have just plot it here, maybe I will also try to get a line here. Maybe a dotted line should be fine. Okay, I'm just making one line here. Oh, that also disappeared. Okay, so this is the line. So that also to indicate that this is that VDD part, right? So I'll also do the same thing as I have done for this side, right? So right. So this is what this is that VDS sat level for NMOS. This is the VDS sat level for PMOS, right? Now we have to start plotting this characteristics. Okay, and suppose we have this configurations where the transistors is give transistor this VDD and all these things are like this. VDD is 2.5 volt. This is grounded. This is V out, and this is V in. And this VTHN threshold voltage of this NMOS is plus 0.4 volt, and VTHP for this PMOS is minus 0.4 volt. Okay, suppose it is like this. Then if suppose we have applied 0.5 volt, then it is a bit higher, so it can actually reach to it can actually give this suppose this characteristics to me, right? And I will try to mention it here, that here this is for V in equal to 0.5 volt, right? Then we will increase it by 0.5, so this is a bit like 0.1 volt, right? So here it is V in is equal to 1 volt, right? And then here it is V in equal to 1.5 volt, right? Then it is V in equal to here 2 volt, one more here it is V in equal to 2.5 volt. That's all, right? Okay. Now in the last page, when we were discussing about this PMOS characteristics, we have seen something else as well, that we have seen that for NMOS, as you are increasing V in, characteristics will move like this, but for PMOS, as we increase this V in, we will see that it will fall below. Okay, so for PMOS, if we have to draw it from this side, then these characteristics, right, this characteristics is for V in equal to 0 volt, right? Because when this V in equal to 0 volt, you see this difference is 2.5 volt maximum, so you have a maximum current, right? And the next one, so here this V in equal to 0.5 volt, right? The other one is this, here it is V in equal to 1 volt, here it is V in equal to 1.5 volt, here it is V in equal to 2 volt. Now when this V in you make 2.5, so then basically this is 2.5, this is 2.5, V of SG become equal to 0. That means this transistor is now off. This transistor is off means you are getting a plot like this, isn't it? So this is V in equal to 2.5 volt, right? Okay, now let's see from this how can we get the voltage transfer characteristics, or get the idea of this voltage transfer characteristics. And this is also helpful in understanding in VTC in which region the transistors will be operated. I think the time is bit not much, so I will try to do it a bit quickly. So this is for PMOS and this is for this NMOS, right? So we have to see this intersect, right? So first, when this V in equal to 0, so when this V in equal to 0, here we have started V in equal to 0.5, but when this V in equal to 0, you have a plot like, this current for NMOS, the current is here, right? The current is for NMOS, or maybe I will try to use some different color. Maybe this one I'm just plotting. This is for here. This is plot is for V in equal to 0 volt, right? Okay. So this is V in equal to 0 volt for NMOS, and this is V in equal to 0 volt for PMOS. And see where they intersect. They intersect here, right? So this is one of the intersect point, right? Okay. Next, when this V in equal to 0.5, this one, and V in equal to 0.5, this one. See, this plot is this one, and V in 0.5 is this one, right? They intersect where? They intersect here, right? Or somewhere here. Okay, fine. Then we have to move to this 1 volt. So here 1 volt, here 1 volt. This is the 1 volt plot, and here the 1 volt plot is this. So they intersect it here. Right? Maybe I will plot this mark. Otherwise, we cannot trace it. Then this 1.5, and here this 1.5. So this 1.5 is this, and here the 1.5 is this. See now the beauty. This intersect here, right? So you can see that when this V in is a bit lower, output voltage, this is basically output voltage is closer to VDD. Now you increase this V in little bit more, the entire thing has been shifted from here till here. Okay, now next, this V in equal to 2. So V in equal to 2, this. So V in equal to 2 for NMOS, it is here, right? And for PMOS, V in equal to 2 is here. So that means basically they intersected here. So you see this V output voltage has further reduced, right? Okay. Now this last case, this V in 2.5, right? And here this for PMOS V in 2.5. So V in 2.5, this is nothing but this plot, right? In the this axis. And here for PMOS, for NMOS, this is this plot. So basically they will intersect it here, right? So from this you can see that you are getting the transition for this CMOS from this VDD till 0, right? And it is expected from this plot that in between, where there is a switching on the transition, that transition region will be have a very high, very stiff, or it will be almost vertical if you do not consider the if you consider that levels are almost means the current levels in saturations are almost flat, no increase in current, right? So in that case, you will see a almost a sharp transition from the high level output to the low level output, right? Then if we just quickly draw this thing here, this VTC, then it will be like this: V output by V input, right? Then suppose up to 0.4 volt we have considered the threshold voltage. So up to 0.4 threshold voltage, this output is equal to this here, right? VDD only. So this is VDD, right? Up till here, this point. So after that it has started falling, right? After that it has started falling. Okay. So after some time, when it has started falling quite enough, then the transition from here till here is very sharp, right? So we can say like it is almost type of very short from here, right? Then after that will again it will be a non-linear, again non-linear like this, and if you increase it little bit more, it will actually reach to this 0 volt, right? So this is now again 2.5 volt, right? And this is what? This is 2.5 minus 0.4 here, beyond this point that PMOS transistor cuts off. So this is basically 2.1 volt, right? So this will be the shape of the VTC for this transistor, right? So depending on that, this region you can actually divide into couple of regions, right? So if I say like this is this region 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5, then I hope that you will be able to tell why in which region which transistor is operating in which mode. For example, if I write it quickly here, so suppose it is NMOS and here it is PMOS. Okay, then if I write in region 1, region 2, region 3, region 4, region 5, right? So in region 1, so that means in this region this NMOS is off, right? You understand, because NMOS is off, and this PMOS is in the triode region, so it is triode region, right? In here, in this here, this is basically this region, right? Here this transistor, NMOS transistor, is in the saturation, and PMOS transistor is still in the triode region. Okay, what about in the number 3? So that means in this region here both transistors are in saturation, right? This is saturation, this is saturation. In region 4, so in region 4 you have to see this region is the region 4. So in this region the NMOS is in the triode region and this PMOS is in the saturation region, right? In the number 5 region, that is this region, here you see the NMOS is still in the triode region, but PMOS, as we have gone beyond this 2.1 volt, No, not enough voltage means this voltage become less than VTH. So this transistor become off. PMOS become off. So this is the region of operation. You can see then the how you are getting the VTC of a CMOS inverter, right? Then if you understand, if you have understand this, then you also know the expression of this NMOS, the expression of this PMOS. From that you should be able to find and you know what is the value of this VOH. Sorry, VOH you already know. Yeah, VOH dash you already know. You should be also able to find VOH, VI, this L, right? VIH, VOL, right? Then VOL dash you already know. Then you should be also able to find what is the switching threshold for this CMOS inverter. Switching threshold is again same thing, V in equal to V out, where it intersect, and in that region that both transistors are operating in the saturation. So you have to equate both saturation equation together and solve it for V in equal to V out, and that will give you the VTH, yeah, switching threshold for the this CMOS inverter. Right. So I hope that from this, at least you have now got some better idea, right? How you are getting the characteristics, now you are getting the VTC characteristics like this. Okay. And how you are able to solve the issues that you have encountered in earlier inverter designs. For example, you are getting VOH to fully VDD. You are getting VOL dash to 0 volt, right? And you have a very sharp transition in this region, right? So all are quite advantageous from the, and it is quite close to the this ideal characteristics of expected characteristics of of an inverter, right? So I think in the next class, and also I request you to please look into this thing, from this Kang's book as well as from this Rabe's book, and see the basic derivations like how to find all this stuff. Because again, these are type of similar things and type of repetition, because no new funda is here, right? If you have understood like how in which region, if you have understood this plot, and from that this region this transistor is operating in this mode, this region transistor is operating in this mode, then you should be able to find any point on this. Fine. So please look into this, and we'll start our discussion in the next class from here onwards.
Sir, could you upload these handwritten slides on Teams? It would
Okay.
help.
Yeah. Okay. I will do that. I will do that. Okay. Okay. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you then. So I will stop recording.